Thailand. Listen to the people, Mr. PM. Don't play with the Canadian people, cause the win is turning around. At all.
Like all you did only plan how to win. And after that all you can't do a thing. At all. Poor people balling, they can't eat a meal.
So what?
It's like all you deaf and can't hear that still. Still waiting for one project to take off. Like it's only Nazim how them could start. But prepare yourself and bang your belly, cause the wind turn around heading back for we. So I said the wind of change, it blowing in the next direction. Man, the wind of change, it blowing back where he came from. Yeah, the people out on the street, we want kids, we want kids. Man, they say they're tired, they can't take it. We want kids, we want kids. Man, the country balling, it's sick. We want kids, we want kids. So they need a doctor to come fix it. We want kids, we want kids. Yeah, the young men out on the block. Man, they say they're tired of the old talk. Listen,
sir. Don't play with the Grenadian people.
The wind turn around. Woo.
Open your eyes, sir.
Listen to us, sir. We healthcare system, well, that's in array.
Don't talk.
No medication, so them nurses say.
Be careful, sir.
Unemployment, well, that gone up sky high.
Too high, too high.
CCC coming back, that was a lie.
Big lie, big lie.
Plenty people now, they living like back. Friend to see a meet a man when he pass. They say they can't wait for another year. Keep playing your deaf and all you can't hear.
Listen.
But I said the wind of change, it blowing in the next direction. Man, the wind of change, it blowing back where he came from. Hear the people out on the streets. We want kids, we want kids. Man, they say they're tired, they can't take it. We want kids, we want kids. Man, the country groaning in play. We want kids, we want kids. They will never make that mistake again. We want kids, we want kids. Hear the old people, them at home. My granny, they say right now they feel so alone.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points.
Attention.
But it's like they end up.
My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 5 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock.
Listen to the voice of the people.
Yeah, and we've got a lot to get through tonight, huh?
Listen, sir. The wind turn around, sir. Don't play with the Grenadian people. Don't.
We want kids, we want kids. We want kids, we want kids. We want kids, we want kids. We want kids, we want kids.
First of all, folks, remember tomorrow night, it's going to be taking place out there at the Bonaire Government School. That is the meeting of the new National Party, the zonal meeting, starting at 6:30 p.m. That is taking place tomorrow. Yeah, out there in beautiful Sunset City, St. Mark, out at the Bonaire Government School. Up to bat, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Honorable Emlyn Pear, Honorable Dr. Clarice Modest, and Mr. Alvin Dabrio. So, that's taking place 6:30 tomorrow out there at the Bonaire Government School. So looking forward to meeting you all there. I might be coming up, eh? Yeah, nah, not doing Talking Points tomorrow night. So I should be up there in St. Mark, right? Nice, yeah. So we're looking forward to that one. Also to let you all know, yeah, this, where you go thing? Come here. Nice, right. You know, I just have to call them and tell them come. Right, so this Saturday, yeah, they can't stop the music in this one. Right? It is taking place this Saturday, the 19th of October, out there in New York. The NNP New York chapter, they present the Oil Down and Old Talk. And that is going to be taking place at 535 East 19th Street between Newkirk and Ditmas. Bar absolutely solid, only $30, and it starts from 12 noon. So that's the new National Party New York chapter, Oil Down and Old Talk. That's taking place this Saturday out there in New York at 535 East 19th Street between Newkirk and Ditmas. All right. So those of you who are out, don't worry, man. They can't tell you can't play no music in there. They can't tell all you can't play music in that one. Yeah, but I know what taking place if they go try to stop the music in this one. The Carriacou Community Day, the new National Party announces its Carriacou Community Day taking place this Saturday. And it's going to be starting from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. at Tropics behind John's Unique Resort. They're going to have games, food, hampers, school supplies, and closer persons in need. Also an opportunity for you to meet and mingle with members of the new National Party team. Bring the whole family for a day full of fun, excitement, and connection. That's going to be taking place over there in Carriacou this Saturday between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. at Tropics, just behind John's Unique. You know John's Unique Resort in Carriacou. I think you're supposed to know, right? Nice. John Unique? Right. Right behind John's Unique. So they're going to have games. They have food, hampers, school supplies, all sorts of things. Head on out there for that particular one. Also, folks, you know, we've got the bingo. Yeah, we have got the bingo is coming up. So don't forget that particular one. Let me just give you a reminder of the bingo. Bingo thing, right? Nice. Yeah, I thought you was playing the fool with me there tonight. Bingo, right? Nice.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Grenada. Get ready as the new National Party invites all to its 40th anniversary fundraising bingo event. Sunday, October 27th from 5 p.m. at Victoria Park, Grenville. Over $100,000 in cash and prizes to be won. Imagine you can win a Suzuki Ignis hybrid car, $50,000 in cash, plus other fantastic prizes. Tickets are $60 for one or $100 for two. Free buses will be available island-wide. Don't miss it, or you might just see your neighbor driving a Suzuki Ignis. Sunday, October 27th, we're heading to Victoria Park in Grenville for the new National Party 40th Anniversary Fundraising Bingo.
Yes, indeed, folks. So we look forward to that particular one. Yeah, you're going up and you can purchase your tickets on entry. Yeah, they're not selling tickets beforehand. So you can purchase your tickets on entry and you can get, that's one ticket for $60. Or you can buy two for $100. Yes, so you save a little money there, you save a little 20. Nice, right? So you can get one for 60 or you can get two for $100. Transportation to and from the event is free. All right, so there are buses island-wide. Contact your constituency leads. They will give you the information. So if you and the whole family want to fill up a transport and head out, there is no problem. Just contact the constituency leads so they could organize so the buses can pick you all up and bring you up. And don't come up and swing hand, and it's a fundraising bingo. Don't go and jump on the bus and you go up there and you ain't purchase a drink and you ain't taking part in the bingo and them kind of thing. You have to be in it to win it, you know. Yeah, you have to be in it to win it. So you're contacting, you're getting on the bus, you're heading up there, but you're going and make a, even if you can't play the bingo, at least you go buy a drink or something while you're up there. Nice? Right. So, folks, that is, we also have, let me see what else I need to remind you of here. Yeah, this one is an important one as well. Yeah, that is the upcoming meeting up there in New York. That is the New York Town Hall meeting of the new National Party. And it's being hosted by the New York chapter. The New York chapter, the NNP, all a real busy boy. Yeah, the New York chapter of the new National Party. And you see the team that's up to bat, the Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Honorable Peter David, Honorable Emlyn Pierce, Senator Nolan Cox, Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis, Peters, and Senator Dwight Hosford. All right, so that is going to be taking place there at Elton Palace at 1130 Linwood Street, Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, so Elton Palace, 1130 Linwood Street, Brooklyn, New York. And it's taking place on the 27th of October from 5 p.m. So looking forward to meeting you all and greeting you all. That's saying that like if I go in, me do I do my visa? Yeah. But you never know. You never know. And also, folks, remember this one is coming up. The Carriacou and Petit Martinique branch of the new National Party. They have their activity coming up as well. So that's the NNP, Carriacou and Petit Martinique Support Group out there in New York. They have the grand fundraising brunch. That's taking place Saturday, the 16th of November. You have enough time to contact a member and get your ticket. Perron, Cassian, what going on, boy? Saturday, the 16th of November, 2024, at 302 East 91st Street, Brooklyn, New York, between Lenox and Clarkson. A starting time, 12 noon. So they're going to have it Soraka style, $30 choice of Escovitch fish, chicken or pork, served with your choice of rice and peas, kuku, lo mein salad, and much more. So that's going to be taking place on the 16th, Saturday, the 16th of November, and it's being staged by the Carriacou and Petit Martinique Support Group of the new National Party. Yeah, activities one after the other. Some people getting frightened. We having one or two little activities. People getting frightened and all kind of thing. What are they getting frightened for? Yeah, what are they getting frightened for? I mean, I just saw them people and them getting afraid. I understand them. Yeah. Yes, indeed, folks. Yes, indeed. Where this thing there? Let me see. Where you go? It's something I was going to play there and it disappear on me, you know. Yeah, and I don't like when they do that. I like when them things stay where I put them. Nice. Yeah, because I have to be using the computer here, and here. Right. So let me play a little song there.
Oh God.
And of course, today, the 16th day of October 2024, We celebrate the birthday of a very special lady.
You're not getting older, only getting better, only getting sweeter. I know so much wiser. This is your day.
Let me say a special happy birthday also to Sherma.
This is your day.
Sherma Jeremiah, one of our loyal listeners, the Talking Points crew.
Soaring, so pure, sure,
And also say a very special happy birthday to Miss Belva Charles.
to know someone so loving.
Belva is one of the people always helps out when we're doing any initiative. Belva is always there, yeah?
Your day. This is your day. Happy birthday to you,
Whether it's to help the people of Carriacou, Petit Martinique, or Bags, she's always there to help.
darling.
And the main celebrant today, Mrs. Muriel Mitchell. As we say, Mama Mitchell, eh?
Your dreams and all Jaja blessings. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. You have a nice day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. May good things come your way. It's really a pleasure to know such a treasure. There's nothing to compare with your style and grace, my dear. This is your day. This is your day. This is your day. This is your day. You're truly delightful and also insightful, amazing and funny. You're such great company. This is your day. This is your day. Oh, this is your day. This is your day. Happy birthday to you. May all your wishes come true, my darling. Happy birthday to you. Long life, sweet dreams, and all the blessings. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. You have a nice day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. May good things come your way. This is your day. This is your day. This is your day. Happy birthday. This is your day. This is your day.
Yeah, only know them birthday tune there. All I know is happy birthday to you. Nah, we ain't in that. We ain't in that. We from the Caribbean, nice?
Love and devotion, heart big like an ocean, so precious and so kind. What a brilliant mind. This is your day. This is your day. This is your day. Happy birthday. This is your day. This is your day. Never ever bitter, so cool under pressure. Just once in a lifetime, you meet someone so divine. This is your day. 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 Happy birthday to you. May all your wishes come true, my darling. Happy birthday to you. Long life, sweet dreams, and all your blessings. Happy birthday. 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 Happy birthday.
Yes, indeed, folks. So we say a very special happy birthday to today's celebrants, our good friend Belva Charles, Sherma Jeremiah, Yazela's people, and of course Mama Mitchell herself, 102. Yeah, man, and I say that with a lot of pride. 102. Yes, man. That is what we call batting. All right, folks, yeah, we've got quite a lot to speak about tonight, and we're going to get into it. I do apologize for those who usually listen via the Facebook. For some unknown reason, tonight of all nights, I have been trying to sign in to the Facebook and unsuccessfully so. So if you know folks who usually tune in via the Facebook and they are not getting through, kindly ask them to tune in via the YouTube. Yeah, I usually say that, but not everybody may know. Yeah. So it is right now. I put it on the Facebook page so that folks would know as well. I put the link to the YouTube there because as it is right now, we do not. I don't know what it is taking place with that Facebook tonight, but it just isn't connecting. So we cannot go live via Facebook. All right. And folks, the final one, just to remind you all again, when it comes to Sir Daniel Williams, yes, let me see, what is the next event? The next event is taking place next week, Friday. So that's the lying in state at the Houses of Parliament. Then the following Sunday, they're going to have the Vespers at the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception. And on the following Monday, the 4th of November, is going to be the funeral mass in St. David at the Church of the Immaculate Conception. All right, folks, so let's just get into it. There was a press conference today. Quite a bit was discussed at that press conference today. In fact, it has my desktop kind of littered with all kind of things. You stay at the side, so move. Right. Yeah, you know how to talk to my computer when I'm doing things, right? Nice. So quite a bit was said at today's press conference. Let me start with I'm not going to start with the Prime Minister. Let me start with the Minister of Agriculture, because I just want to clarify something within my own mind. I want to clarify something before we get to the Prime Minister, because I think one issue from the press conference has sort of overwhelmed a lot of other important issues that came up at that press conference today. There were quite a lot of important information that came through. Everybody's focusing on the one thing for Saturday, and we will discuss that shortly. But there are some other things that came up as well this morning at that press conference that I believe need to be addressed and need to be addressed properly. Yeah? One of them was when I listened to the Agriculture Minister this morning, and he was speaking about the distribution of the checks. Now, the government has said that the payments that they're going to be making to the farmers, some of the farmers will be receiving their payments directly into their bank accounts. So some farmers will receive a certain amount of cash in their bank accounts. Others will be receiving a check that they then have to go and cash or deposit, whichever they decide to do with it. So others will be receiving a check. But rather than say, go to the district agricultural office and just collect your checks and so on, they have said to the farmers now that we are going to send our political people to hand over the check to you. And they're doing it in that way so they can get the photographs of the farmers collecting the checks and that sort of thing. But let's just hear what the minister himself had to say this morning. Let's hear it from him. Don't take it my word for it. Let's hear the minister.
So, for farmers who are to receive payments by checks, please be advised that all such payments will be made at your agricultural district offices. On Thursday, which is tomorrow, the 17th of October. And this will be done at the following places and times. At the Northern District of Soteres, it will be done at the Plains District Office at 10 a.m. Ministers Cornwall and Andal, they will be there to hand out the checks to you as of 10 a.m. For the Eastern District of St. Andrew, the distribution will take place at the Agricultural District Office in Grenville from 10 a.m. And Ministers David Andrew, Delma, and Gloria Thomas, and Lennox Andrews will be there to hand out the checks. At the District of St. David's, at the Lassages District Office, our Prime Minister will be there to distribute the checks from 10 a.m. 8 a.m., sorry, from 8 a.m. And for the Western District in Black Bay St. John's, Ministers Andy Williams, Ron Redhead, Philip Telesford, Kevin James, and Claudette Joseph will be there to distribute the checks from 9 a.m. Now we are kindly asking all farmers who are to receive checks to be at the district offices at least 30 minutes before the distribution time. You're asked to register your name, and of course, that will facilitate the distribution.
Now, I have questions. Yeah? why is it necessary for a government minister? You have a ministry to run, eh? You have a ministry, well, in this case, you had an I in the word run and you have ruin. But they have a ministry that they're supposed to be in. They are going to leave to go to the agricultural office for a photo op. Just the same way, all of them jump on a plane together and go up Carriacou to say they're reopening school because they want photo ops of them sharing out watermelon for Carriacou people children, while the children cooking under tents right now in Carriacou. But they wanted the photo op, schools reopening in Carriacou. Oh, such a wonderful achievement. And they go up there and the children can't even stay under the tents. And we are yet to hear that that situation has been resolved, you know. Sometimes we pick up things and we just drop it in this place. We are yet to hear that that situation has been resolved or not. Yeah? So right now, the children in Carriacou, as far as we know, if they go in at all, are still under the tent out there in Carriacou with no fan, no means of air, catching their nenen. The teachers and the students are going through that on a daily basis, and they had not at that point in time even had water in the makeshift facility for several days. So they couldn't even flush the toilets that existed there. But yet still children was going there and they run up for photo op. Now, the farmers had to get the checks, so all of them want to make sure they get a photograph of them grinning like Shashakyat while they handing over the checks to the farmers. But my question is simply this as well. My question is simply this. And in fact, let me take it from the angle of the question that was asked by the person that they hate to get questions from. I realize every time Linda Straker asks a question, it's like Linda Straker was born some way, I know, in the back of Myanmar or some kind of other country. And like she neighbor string berry here, and like she's not a Grenadian, so that she doesn't have a right to ask a question as a journalist in her own country. You have a set of idiotic people lacking any common sense or intellectual capability that jump on every live when she asks a question, and instead of trying to learn something from the questions that she's asking, starts to attack her because they cannot engage her at an intellectual level, so they have to go after her. How she look, why she asking that question? She's asking that question because she wants an answer. If it was Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the NNP in office and she was asking them question, all you hypocrite. Same all they was jumping up and saying, give them Linda, give them Linda, give them. All a bunch of hypocrite. But anyway, let's hear the question that was asked by Ms. Straker, and let's hear the response that was given by the minister before we move forward, yeah? Because we have quite a bit to go through tonight, as I said.
To you and the current head table. My question is, can the minister or probably the PS explain why a decision was taken to have government ministers other than the Minister for Agriculture, officials within the Ministry of Agriculture, hand out checks to the people who are receiving checks between today and tomorrow, please God? Is this politicizing the process of handing out check to people who are affected by burial?
No, sorry. Good morning, Linda. Nice to hear your voice again. No, Linda, this is not about politics. This is about efficiency and effectiveness. The farmers, they have been waiting for those monies for a very long time now. So we have to find a way to get the money to the farmers as quickly as possible. So it will take some time for me as the Minister for Agriculture to go around the country in some days to hand out checks to the farmers, yeah? And therefore the easiest way is for us, all of us as a government, to assist the Minister of Agriculture in handing out those checks. And that's the reason why the decision has been taken, right? We don't want to keep our farmers waiting to receive their monies.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you, Linda, for your...
So let me ask a question here. So he's basically saying now it's the responsibility of a minister. A minister has to be there in order for the farmers to receive the check. Minister Andrews, you're talking crap. And you should know better. You were in the Ministry of Finance and you know what you're saying is absolute stupidness. A government minister doesn't have to be there to hand over no check to nobody. It is political. They want a photo opportunity. They want to take pictures with them handing over checks to farmers to say, look what we have done for the farmers of the country. Just admit that. Don't try and fool the Grenadian people. Don't try and bamboozle the Grenadian people, because if what you were saying was real, truthful, and honest, the lineup of who is giving out checks would have been different. Because you recognize that when it comes to the town, the St. George area, you have Mr. Ron Redhead, who is not a government minister. He's simply an MP. He's a backbencher in the government. So he's not a cabinet member. He's not a government minister. He's simply an MP. He was fired a number of months ago. He was fired. So he does not hold a ministerial portfolio. He's simply a member of parliament, parliamentary representative. And he is going to be there handing out checks to people. What is his qualifying criteria to be one of the individuals handing out checks to people? You have several senators. So you have Senator Claudette Joseph, you have Senator David Andrew, you have Senator Gloria Thomas, who are also going to be handing out checks to people. What are their qualifying criteria in a constituency to go handing out checks? Because if MP Ron Redhead, who is not a cabinet minister, could be in the lineup of persons who are handing out checks, then when it comes to the town of St. George, the Honorable Peter David should have been the individual standing there handing out checks to farmers. When it comes to St. George Northwest, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell should have been there handing out checks to the farmers from his constituency. When it comes to St. Mark, Dr. the Honorable Clarice Modest should have been there handing out checks to her farmers from her constituency. When it comes to St. Andrew Southeast, Honorable Emlyn Pierre should have been there and not Dave Andrew to hand out checks to the farmers. When it comes to St. Andrew Northeast, the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peter should have been the person standing there and handing out checks to the constituents, to the farmers within that constituency. There is no other way to describe this than exactly the question that was asked. It is political in nature. Don't disrespect the intelligence of the Grenadian people. Don't do it. You're telling me that how you go in and hand out checks to these people, you want a photo opportunity, just admit it. We want the photo opportunity. So when election time come around, we could put some pictures and say, look, we give the checks to the farmers. Because number one, the only way that you all got those checks for the farmers was because the new National Party had entered CRIF. You all keep saying, well, we put the farmers thing. The farmers thing was only available at the point in time that you all came in to join. It was not a separate thing that was available before. So you all were able to join because at that point in time it became available. So why could one person who is an MP, and carries no ministerial portfolio, it is okay for him to go and hand over a check, but the people who create the platform for you all to be able to get that money and access that money that you're giving to the farmers now, you are so disrespectful, bad mind, wicked, vindictive, and hypocritical that you all decide that none of them could stand up there and hand out a check to. All you're wicked and all you think we stupid. We supposed to be stupid, ain't it? Who does Mr. Lennox Andrew think he talking to? Toes maybe become fingers or something? He can't be toes. Yes, he might tie up on his shoulder, something had to be wrong in truth. That may be a clone that they had there. Because I cannot believe. Well, yes, look, somebody's asking, why is the Attorney General there handing out checks? What is the use of the Attorney General there handing out checks? Since when that is the responsibility of a government minister? So the farmers cannot receive their money unless it have ministers there to hand out the money. That shows how much they care about the farmers. It's not the farmers they care about, it's the optics. Yeah, look me here as the minister. Hold your check. If I was a farmer, if I was them farmers and them, I wasn't going in and meet all you for no check. And all you have to give me. And they come in 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Leave it in the office there, I will come for it. I don't have to walk in for you to come and take your picture and thing of me, to come and hand any check to me. All you out of order, this is disgusting. So you telling me that the farmers cannot simply go tomorrow or go on Friday and collect the checks in the different offices, in the revenue office or the agriculture office, wherever you want to give it? That they must wait until one of you is available so you could bring GIS and you could bring your cameraman to come and take photos and videos of them getting checked? The New National Party, during the COVID crisis, gave assistance to farmers. They gave assistance until they gave assistance to the fruit sellers at the side of the road too. They gave assistance to the vendors. They gave assistance to the busmen. They gave assistance to the hotel workers who were laid off because of the COVID-19 virus that was going around and everybody was scared. You ever hear any member of the New National Party, mask or no mask, sanitize or no sanitize, go and say they go in and hand out check to these people and take picture and say, well, we giving busmen check, all your line up and come and take all your check and a picture? You all live it, you all were here and you all know. There were disasters that passed before from Lily to Lenny that affected farmers in this country over the years. You have heard on numerous occasions the New National Party administration assisting farmers in this country. They try to forget that. Don't forget it. And they must tell me it don't happen, because remember, I have my video evidence of everything I just be speaking about, and I just put it out piece by piece by piece. Let them say it's not true. They cannot attack us and say that we lying here. Several occasions over the years, we have known of a tropical storm pass or it had a weather event, and farmers have lost their crops. And the New National Party, they went into cabinet and they say, well, okay, let us assist the farmers. Let us give them some payments. And so you ever see, whether it's Mr. Oliver Joseph go in St. David and stand up and say, well, I'm handing out checks to the farmers. Come bring GIS and bring GBN and all of them and take video and pictures and things. Look at handing out checks to the farmers. No. The farmers either get it in their account or you had the check ready for them to go and they collect the check at the different locations. But it has never been an instance where farmers can't receive their checks unless the minister reach. That is wicked. And it shows that this is nothing to do with the farmers. It's all about them and their failing political organization. They know they're in trouble and don't get up. They understand that they're in trouble. So this has nothing to do with the farmers and the fact that the farmers need the assistance. This has nothing to do with the fact that the farmers need this money to be able to go and start back up their operations or improve their operations. This has nothing to do with all of that. This is all about them. I want a picture. I want to be able to put out my video. Look when I handing the farmers check. If it is for the MPs, if you need help, and it's the MPs to do it, then how come Dr. Mitchell? How come Dr. Clarice Modest? How come Honorable Skeeter Lewis Peters? How come Honorable Peter David? How come Honorable Emlyn Pierre are not being asked to hand out checks as well? How come it is only your people handing out checks and then you are the gall to come and tell us that that is not political? Mr. Man, watch. Before you talk stupidness on the TV next time and the radio, better you don't go. Tell the Prime Minister you don't want to compromise yourself into looking like an idiot like you're looking right now. Tell the Prime Minister you are an intelligent man. You are OGM, original Grenville man. You don't want to compromise your intellect and your intelligence by looking like a fool. Tell the Prime Minister you're not going. Stand up as a man. You ain't winning the seat again anyhow. So stand up as a man. At least leave with some integrity intact. You go in there and make yourself look stupid like you, Toz? You supposed to be one of the smarter ones inside there? Supposed to be. I ain't say that you are. And to be smart around so much stupid people is not really an achievement. So I don't want to accuse you. You understand? But still, You supposed to be one of the smarter people inside there. And that's where you come in and tell us? Why are you allowing yourself to be used in that manner? Things so bad with you? You allowing them to insult your intellect and intelligence like that? To send you to talk that stupidness to us, knowing full well that the Grenadian people are not stupid, we go see straight through you? Farmers, if I was all you, I don't go in no way. Tell you all straight. If I was all you, I don't go in no way. Because that is absolute nonsense. Yeah? That, in my view, is absolute nonsense. Come in and tell us. Folks, just listen to him again, one more time. Just listen to him one more time, his response. Remember, Ron Redhead is going out to give... Ron is not a cabinet member. The Attorney General is going out and give out checks too. Other senators, people who win the seat, going out and give checks. But hear the response. I want you all to hear the response once again. Yeah? Just hear the response.
To you and the current head table. My question is, can the minister or probably the PS explain why a decision was taken to have government ministers other than the Minister for Agriculture, officials within the Ministry of Agriculture, hand out checks to the people who are receiving checks between today and tomorrow, please God? Is this politicizing the process of handing out check to people who are affected by burial?
No, sorry. Good morning, Linda. Nice to hear your voice again. No, Linda, this is not about politics. This is about efficiency and effectiveness. The farmers, they have been waiting for those monies for a very long time now.
So since you know they've been waiting for a very long time, that means all you could have get them farmers the money today, you know. It possibly mean them farmers could have even get our money since last week. But you all mean that you all have to be in a picture handing the check to the farmers. So as such, it had nothing to do with the farmers. Don't give the impression that you care about how long they're waiting for the check because you're lying. Efficiency and effectiveness, my foot.
So we have to find a way to get the money to the farmers as quickly as possible. So it will take some time for me as the Minister for Agriculture to go around the country.
So wait, so he's Santa Claus. He had to go around with the checks around the country to give everybody. All right. Now, okay, yeah, that's what we reach to in this country right now. Before a farmer could get a check, a government minister has to come and deliver the check to you. Okay, we understand. Yeah, we maybe we went to school during break time. So I know. Let me hear.
To go around the country in some days to hand out checks to the farmers. Yeah? And therefore the easiest way is for us, all of us as a government, to assist the Minister of Agriculture in handing out those checks. And that's the reason why the decision has been taken.
That's not the reason why the decision has been taken. Your life for us. Move there. Right, folks. Yeah. Who they talking to? Seriously. We they talking to and tell that? Something definitely had to be intellectually or mentally wrong with us to just accept that sort of nonsense. And folks, that's not the only stupidness that take place this morning. There are a lot of stuff that went on this morning. Yeah, I know the one that everybody's asking about is this particular one. Let me pull it up here. Let's hear the Prime Minister. Let me hear the Prime Minister, man. I'll reach to the rest of stuff too, but let me hear the Prime Minister since you all keep asking about this particular one.
Point to some of the lessons that we all need to pay attention to coming out of this period. I want to reiterate, October 19th, National Heroes Day, is not a festival and it's not a time for festivities. This is a time for sober, serious and respectful commemoration. As a result, no permits for the playing of amplified music in public spaces will be granted. I'm aware that some have regrettably been granted already, unfortunately, and they are going to be cancelled. I will obviously apologize for any inconvenience caused to those who would have received those permits already, but we indicated since last year that this was going to be our position, and for the record, we intend to legislate this as well and put it into more permanent and legal form as we begin to...
Let me ask you a question. That's my father? That's my father? He owned Grenada or some kind of thing? When Grenada become Deacon Mitchell own? Listen, the only time the Prime Minister can make a decision that might be similar in nature to the one that he has made there, because he make it. Don't come and try and give us the thing as the police and all kind of thing. The police only find out about that after you speak at that press conference there. So he decide that we must spend Saturday in reverence. So if you were a person that were negatively affected by the revolution, and as such you don't want to be in reverence to nothing, you don't want nothing to do with this, you don't want to take part in it or anything like that, he's saying that you do not have the constitutional right to go and do as you please elsewhere. So everybody, because remember they tried this around the independence time, because it seems as though we are now living in North Korea. So we got to start to call he Little Kim, because it seems as though we are now living in North Korea, where we have no rights, where we are told what time to wake up, what time to go to sleep, and now we're being told what time to play music if we want to play music and have an activity. So you telling me if somebody had a boat cruise set for Saturday, they have to cancel it? What about all the other people that had their activities? Look, you know the situation with Wagiti. Let me give you all an idea of what is taking place when it comes to Wagiti and the football that is supposed to take place. I can't say if what is the present status, but it is supposed to take place on Saturday. Let me give you all an example of what is taking place here when it comes to the football, and unfortunately so. Yeah, let me see if I could pull this up. Right? And folks, I'm going to play an ad here. I'm going to play an ad. Right? This is the ad for the activity that Waggy is supposed to be having on Saturday. For years, Waggy T has been having his football competition. We know he brings in artists and so on for it.
Grenada, watch it now. Football lovers. The 14th edition of the YGT Super Knockout is here again. And on Saturday, October 19th, will be the grand opening at Victoria Park in Grenville. Yes, Big Parish. The football action kicks off with two big opening games from 7 p.m. Game 1, Unlace Authentic Sneaker Store, SAFL versus Sunjets United. Then in Game 2, Hat Rock Montreach FC versus Glass Herb Roots. After the game, we head stateside for the young, trending Jamaican dancehall sensation, Mali Dawn.
Well, we could forget that now, because after Mr. Wagiti booked this individual, which means that he had to pay 50% of the money that this guy has to pay to come to Grenada has already been paid. Understand what we're saying here? It's not simply a matter of, hey, we can't use you again, don't come. It is a matter of 50% down payment has already been paid to these international artists or regional artists that are supposed to come for the games. So this guy, whatever the fee, whether it's a 10,000 US or a 20,000 US or whatever it is that it costs, already received half his money, and may even have to receive some more in damages, because it is due to no fault of his own that he can't come in Grenada again to perform.
Mali Dawn.
Pick up 4 girl reach for the total.
Also featuring Sakina and the Alpha One Band, Brenda Store, and the biggest trending song, Black and Dan.
So none of them could perform, and if they have in their contracts that you have to pay some upfront, these people have already been paid. The ad that I just played there, that ad for itself gonna cost a significant amount of money. It's not no cheap amount. It's not no $10 and $20 to do an ad. In some instances, it could cost you as much as $1,500 to produce an ad up to that quality. Yeah? So understand, we now start to count, you know, because these things have to be paid for. And you have other people who were given permission, who have activities, who have spent thousands of dollars in buying drinks, thousands of dollars in buying food, and so that they could do the chicken, they could do the different things. They have spent thousands of dollars, plus all the other aspects of organization that had to take place financially and physically. And this is not something that you get up last week and they say, well, we bring in Mali Don, whoever he is. Right? First time I hear the name anyhow. We bring in Mali Don. This is not your get up last week and they say you're getting him. To get these artists, you have to book in advance. So 2-3 months ago, you have to find out where said artist is going to be. And if the possibility is that you can get that artist and to secure that artist so that they don't take a job somewhere else, you have to make your down payment. So whatever their fee is, you have to make a down payment, which is usually around 50%. So you pay them. And when they get to the island, before they go and they perform, you give them the rest of money. So this is not a situation that there is no consequences. There are no consequences to this. This isn't that you cancel last week or you say before nothing like that taking place on the day. And who are you to say that nothing like that could take place on that day? Who are you to tell us how we must celebrate or not celebrate any particular day? Who are you as Prime Minister? You're misunderstanding your position, Mr. Man. Seriously, who are you to tell us that we must be in reverence on that particular day? Yes, people died on that day. There are people in this country who, without you saying it, will reverence that day. But you can't tell us we have a constitutional right in this country. And if I was Wagiti, I'd taking it to court on a constitutional matter and I'm winning. If I was any of those promoters. You say you're going and legislate what? You can't legislate nothing that goes against the constitution. You are a lawyer and you know better than that. So stop talking that stupidness to the Grenadian people, Mr. Prime Minister. Any law that is in contravention of the constitutional rights of Grenadians can be struck down on a constitutional motion. You better go and find Dr. Francis Alexis and speak to him. You better go and find him. Because what you are saying there goes against our constitutional right. You cannot tell us how to celebrate the day. You can't tell me that I had to leave and come up and all because you want a big crowd. You want a big crowd up in your activity that you're having on the day. So you're trying to shut down all other activities and say that is the only location people must go on the day. Same, you do that Independence time. And you see, the thing is in this country, sometimes because we let the issues go, they come back and bite us later on. So you see, if we had made the Prime Minister know his place back in February when he did that on Independence Day, he would not have been able to come and try it on October 19th now. You want to make the day a holiday? All well and good. Nobody is saying no, although some people are. But if you want to make the day a holiday, go right ahead. Make it a holiday. It is a holiday now, isn't it? But you cannot tell us how to celebrate that holiday. Good Friday, which is Good Friday. The day that we recognize the sacrifice that the Lord made. We does have rum runner cruise. We does have drags taking place in pearls or kite flying back in the days. We have all kind of activities. One of the biggest Christian holidays. And we does have, in fact, the most activities here. So just now you're going to tell us that over the Easter weekend, that we can't have nothing. That is what coming to us now. Because if you have decided on your own, Mr. Prime Minister, on your own, don't try to put this anywhere. This is you. This is your personal belief. So if you have decided on your own that on that particular day, this is how Grenadians need to behave, you cannot legislate those kind of things. You cannot just make decisions because of how you feel. We have constitutional rights. We have our rights, all rights under the Constitution of Grenada, the freedom of conscience. We could believe what we want to believe. We could congregate legally. You cannot tell us that we must reverent on that day. Who are you to tell us that you're out of order? Don't misplace it. You're the Prime Minister, not Almighty God. Where you feel? There's the Vatican. Use the Pope. You want to legislate our morality? What kind of madness is this? And then people going to accept it. And when they accept it, it's going to happen again. I keep warning you all. If you continue to just leave these things like that, it's going to happen again and it will happen worse. Twice in a year. So it happened for independence. People had the thing. All people had they buy up the chicken and all the different thing. They buy up the drinks to have the activity. Boom. No activities. Everybody had to go to the stadium. because they realize that they have lost popularity so much that nobody going in this stuff. Nobody going in this stuff. So they have lost popularity because nobody going when they have the activities, nobody ain't going. They had thing in St. David's the other day, the boss. All what they're doing, people ain't bothering with them. So they mean now shut down the other activities and funnel everybody into our activity. So then he continue to make the statement that the day goes up until 12 o'clock the night, midnight, so that no such activity will have license to take place up until midnight. But who is Deacon Mitchell to tell us that? I'm warning you all, just know it coming for Easter. It might even come for Christmas. So just know you might hear Christmas time, no license for any kind of activity. So you can't have no Christmas party. You mightn't even be able to have your local village gathering, those kind of things. Just know don't tell you can't do that. And men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force, do not enforce this. I don't care if they come for me, Don't enforce it. Because it goes against the constitutional rights of Grenadians that you have sworn to protect. You, the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force, have sworn to protect Grenadians and our constitutional rights. And do not allow this Prime Minister and his government to use you to take away our constitutional rights. So if Wagiti want to have his football on that day, and he want to bring 20 artists, 15 local and 5 foreign, it's up to Wagiti. And I, as a Grenadian, must have the right that is enshrined in the 1974 Constitution of Grenada that gives me the right and gives me the human right as well to be able to go and sit down in the stadium or jump up if I want to jump up. That is my right. You can't tell me that I have to go and kneel and genuflect up in some place because that is where you decide. You don't have that right, Mr. Prime Minister. And if you all sit down there and allow this sort of nonsense to continue, it's going to get worse. If you all sit down there, next thing you go here, Easter time, people will go and they organize to go and have the activities for Easter. People going to go there, buy the chicken, they have the different thing they set up, and then you go here, oh, we all need to go to church during Easter and we need to reverence the day. Not everybody is Christian. You have other countries, for instance, I was speaking to someone today and they were saying, well, look at Trinidad. Trinidad is a melting pot of various religions. Spiritual Shouter Baptist Day in Trinidad, people just go online and they go and they have the fete and they have the activities and so on. During Lent, Trinidad have fete. Just now you go tell us we can't have nothing because it's Lenten period. You won't say, well, no loud music during Lent and so you have to remain quiet. Trinidad does have Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr is an Islamic holiday. It's an actual holiday. They have a day off in Trinidad for Eid al-Fitr on a yearly basis. And other people have their activities as normal. The government don't step in and say, well, you can't do that because today is Eid al-Fitr. Or Diwali, what the Hindus have. Or any of the other holidays, they don't step in and say, well, you can't have a fete on that day because it's that particular day. But yet here in Grenada, Lil Kim decide that we can't have anything when he decide. If we continue along this road, Grenadians, you are going to continue to lose your constitutional rights. This is a direct attack on your constitutional rights. If you allow these individuals to take away your right to gather as you see fit on a day that you see fit and have an activity on that particular day, what is wrong with having amplified music in the stadium that night? What is wrong with that? What damage is being done to the Grenadian psyche? What damage is being done to the young people of Grenada to have amplified music on that night that some of the own local artists will get an opportunity and apply to earn $1? What damage is being done to the Grenadian people by that? What damage is being done by the Grenadian people because they decide they don't want to go in your activity? It have another activity. I ain't go anywhere for the year, so I feel I want to go and lime in that activity. What damage is being done to them for that? Grenadians, if all you stay quiet and all you allow these people to continue with this kind of thing, it's going to get worse. Don't be surprised you wake up the week of Easter and on Palm Sunday, all of a sudden you hear no amplified music for the next 2 weeks. Don't be surprised. You wake up on Palm Sunday and you just hear the Prime Minister decide no music for the next 2 weeks, and you sit down there and taking it in it. Don't be surprised that you just hear the eve of Christmas Eve, that for the rest of the year up until New Year's Day you can't have no amplified music because the Prime Minister decide that we must reverence that period of time because he's speaking about the birth of the Christ child, and so that point in time, no Christmas party and all this noise. No noise. We having a national Christmas party. Everybody come there. We cannot just simply say that this is okay. We cannot simply accept this. The Prime Minister is showing dictatorial tendencies. From having ministers that to go and line up on the airport from when he drop in from plane, to making decisions like this. And if we do not as a people nip it in the bud now, it's going to get worse. Nip it in the bud, Grenadians. Members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, do not follow the Prime Minister on this unconstitutional move. When people play their music, don't go and interfere with them. They are Grenadians and they have a constitutional right. The Prime Minister is only here for a period of time, and every day that passes, he here 1 day less as the Prime Minister of Grenada. The sun set today, it's set on 1 day of his Prime Ministership. That is 1 day less. Grenada remains. Grenada remains. He had to go in, and go he will. His day is coming. He must go. But Grenada remains. And we cannot allow him and his crew to interfere with our democratic institutions and our constitutional rights. We can't bury we head in the sand for this one. Because there's not a start. This is a continuation of that type of behavior. These people have breached the constitution, breached the laws. Look, let me use an example here. Let me see if I could find this one. Right. This morning during the press conference, the Prime Minister responded to a question by saying this.
With the outbreak, and because of the challenges it may pose for further onward travel, I had intended to travel from Rwanda to Nigeria and then from Nigeria back to Grenada. As a result of the change in the travel plans, I would have stayed in the United Kingdom much longer, an extra day, and thereafter I would have traveled to Nigeria, and then from Nigeria I would have traveled back to Grenada. As far as I'm aware, I traveled, you asked whether I traveled commercial. I should just point this out so that we appreciate it, because I guess you want to know who took me to Nigeria. I flew to Nigeria from the United Kingdom, compliments Mr. Aliko Dangote, because obviously... With
Folks, what the Prime Minister has just admitted today is a corrupt act. He has just admitted to a corrupt act. The integrity in public life legislation is very clear. In case the Prime... I realize like they ain't reading that at all. The integrity in public life legislation, it guides the behavior of our officials, inclusive of the Prime Minister of our country. And I think it's high time somebody take him to task on this one through the Integrity Commission. My lawyer friend, I think it's time we draft that one, because this one is a clear breach of the Anti-Corruption and Integrity in Public Life Act. The Integrity in Public Life Act states that you are not supposed to put yourself in a position where if somebody offers you something, that person, you would then owe that person. In other words, you can't be the Prime Minister of Grenada and a man who has openly stated in the media, in his home country and otherwise, that he wants to do business with Grenada and the Caribbean. You are the chairman of Carriacou, at least for the next few days. You are the chairman of Carriacou. You are the Prime Minister of Grenada. This multi-billionaire wants to do business with the state of Grenada. He flies you who we now find out today is your chief of staff. So he fly you, your chief of staff, your cameraman, your personal secretary, your security guard, and your family members. He put all you on a plane and he fly all you down to Nigeria. You have been placed in a compromising position, Mr. Prime Minister, according to the Integrity in Public Life Act. The moment this man came to you and he offered to do that, you were supposed to decline and immediately report that to the Integrity in Public Life Commission. Do you know that, Mr. Prime Minister? Are you aware of the legislation? Are you aware of the sections of the legislation that speak to such behavior? The man intends to do business here. So what he has done for you amounts to a bribe. He bribing you. So whether he put you on one of his private planes, so whether it's one of his private planes he put you on, or whether it is that he pay for you to fly, whether he put you on 5NEXS, whether he put you on that plane, the Bombardier Challenger, or he put you on the Global Express, BD700, N104DA/926. Whether he put you on one or the other of them two planes, yes, I know the plane numbers. I know which one of them you go with and which one you come with. But Mr. Prime Minister, what you have done there amounts to accepting a bribe. Because if that man now is doing any business with Grenada, it can be considered that it was due to the fact that he provided. And we didn't think it's the flight alone he provided. Who provided for your hotels in Nigeria and your meals and your transportation? This is not the state of Nigeria. This is not Nigeria, the country. This is not the government of Nigeria saying that they are inviting the Grenadian Prime Minister and therefore they extend courtesies to him to come. This is an individual who is a multi-billionaire who wants to do business in Grenada and the Caribbean, saying to somebody who could make him do business in Grenada and the Caribbean, hey, we gain you a flight, you and your family, you and all your friends, your staff, come and just send for them. So the Prime Minister don't understand that he's in breach of the Integrity in Public Life Act, that he has placed himself in a compromising position, that if this gentleman then comes and does business in Grenada and he's doing $40 or $50 million worth of business in Grenada, it could be considered, because corruption is not just the actual act itself, but the perception that the Prime Minister has placed himself in a compromising position. And I realize like they're upset, like Linda ain't supposed to ask the question. Like Linda's supposed to stay there and do ask no question. But the Prime Minister, through his actions, has placed himself in a compromising position and the state of Grenada with this multi-billionaire. What other benefits did the Prime Minister gain from this trip? On a personal level, because number one, he got the trip itself, that is personal. That is supposed to be reported to the Integrity Commission. The moment they approach you, the law is so strict on this thing. It is the moment that they approach you, you have to report it, you know. The moment that they approach you, you have to report it, not just after the thing take place. You have to report it the moment somebody come to you and say, Sheldon, I'm giving you a trip to the UK and think you could come up and Lime and so on, you and your family, just come up and spend some time. But here what, we want to do some business in Grenada, but we want to discuss it with you. So come up in the UK and let us sit down and have a conversation and so on. And don't worry about the flight, man. We go fly you out first class and so on. We got a limousine to pick you up and we go bring you around. And that is corruption. And the moment the person approaches you, you're supposed to stop them. You're supposed to contact the Integrity Commission and say you've been approached. But our Prime Minister, no, he jump plane and go. Let me take a call. Hello, good night.
Hey, Sheldon, how you doing, brother?
I ain't doing good on this one, huh?
Oh, yeah, I ain't doing good myself.
But you go ahead.
Sheldon, this is bribery and corruption at the highest level. Is Grenada for sale?
Well, you never know with these guys.
Well, what happened with the Prime Minister and this Nigerian billionaire? That shows that our country is for sale. guy is corrupted, and you have to call him out on that.
Hello? Hello?
I've never heard something like that in my whole life, Sheldon.
As a prime minister of a country, a billionaire don't invite you and you just jump on the plane?
No.
They don't invite you and you just jump on a plane and say, well, I go in here. You don't do that. You can't do that.
Make it worse, Sheldon. This is the capital of corruption. Nigeria is the capital of corruption. We know that.
Well, my brother, all over the world are corruption. It's just that Nigeria name does get called a lot. Believe me, there's some places that much worse than there. But I know where you're coming from. Go right ahead.
No, but you have to call this man out, and that has to be taken to the Grenadian public. They have to know that. A prime minister not supposed to be taking personal bribe. You should not be taking personal bribe from a businessman. And if that businessman is coming to go to do business in Grenada, you will give him priority to do business because he already bribed you. That's what it is. Come on, man. Call up Sandra Ferguson and all the others, Ray Roberts and all these guys.
Now, they may have nothing to say right now. All of them is a bunch of hypocrite. Whether it's Ray, whether it's Sandra, all of them are a bunch of hypocrite. So me have nothing to ask them. Them people have nothing to say now.
The Adrian Thomas from St. David who said that we were selling out our country. What does he have to say on that? This is ridiculous, Sheldon. Man, my brother, just keep the fire burning and keep calling them out, man.
Yes, indeed. All right, my friend. Thank you so very much. All right. Yeah, listen, let me everybody was jumping up on October 19th. No, this is the story here. Yeah, and I'm sorry that I won't be on tomorrow night because there's a lot more to talk about from that press conference, you know. A lot more to speak about from that press conference. Let me show you all something here. This is the Integrity in Public Life Act. This is a list of the people who the integrity in public life, list of persons in public life. Let me put it bigger. I want you all to see. Member of the Commission and Secretary to the Commission. Members of the House of Representatives. The Prime Minister is a member of the House of Representatives. Members of the Senate. President of the Senate. Speaker of the House of Representatives. Parliamentary secretaries. Secretary to the Cabinet. Permanent secretaries, etc., etc. Police officers. Everybody. This is the law of Grenada. This is the law here in Grenada. Yes, so the Prime Minister, as a member of the House of Representatives, this law applies to him. Right? And these are just some of the declarations. I've made my declarations during my time to the Integrity Commission. They must go and check it. Because I made my declaration back in the days. Yeah? It has the general principles in relation. The law is online, you know, the Prime Minister could find it tonight. The general principles, the behavior of a person in public life. A person in public life has the duty to serve loyally the lawfully constituted national, local or regional authority. Conflicts of interest, part 2. Let me go down this. I'll take some calls just now, but let me deal with this. You all reading? Conflict of interest. A conflict of interest arises from a situation in which a person in public life has a private interest which is such as to influence or appear to influence the impartial and objective performance of his or her official duties. In other words, a man fly you and your family out to Africa and he treat you nice over there, he give you all kind of gifts, he treat you nice over there. It might influence or appear to influence your impartiality and objective performance in your official duties as Prime Minister of Grenada. So the Prime Minister is in direct conflict of interest in this. A person in public life, private interest includes any advantage to himself or herself, to his or her family. Let me repeat. To himself or herself, to his or her family, close relatives, friends and persons or organizations with whom he or she has had business for potential reasons. In other words, you can't go in GDB and take loan because you're a government minister. It also includes any liability, whether financial or work relating thereto. Since the person in public life is usually the only person who knows whether he or she is in that situation, he or she has a personal responsibility to be alert of any actual potential conflict of interest. Take steps to avoid such conflict. When Dangote call you and he say, come, you're supposed to say, you can't come. He's the Prime Minister of Grenada. You can't do that. If you as the Prime Minister want to use your money and pay and go, that is all good. If the Nigerian government want to invite you to Nigeria and they pay and they bring you, that is all well and good. But when a multi-billionaire who wants to do business in Grenada says to you, come, that is a conflict of interest. You have taken personal benefits that will impair your objectivity and impartiality when that name Dangote comes up for any benefit from the state of Grenada and the people of Grenada. You are supposed to disclose to his or her superiors any such conflict as soon as he or she becomes aware of it, and comply with any final decision to withdraw from the situation or to divest himself or herself of the advantage causing the conflict. And it speaks here, the law is clear. Part 3, a person in public life shall not engage in any activity or transaction or acquire any position or function, whether paid or unpaid, that is incompatible with or detracts from the proper performance of his or her duties as a public official. Where it is not clear whether an activity is incompatible, he or she should seek advice from the Integrity Commission. Did the Prime Minister ask the Integrity Commission any question? So it speaks here to political or public activity. It speaks to reaction to improper offers. Let's look at part 5 here. If a person in public life is offered an undue advantage, because Dangote ain't come and say, he go in the market and he take up 2 people and say, let me bring all you and show all you Nigeria. He went for the Prime Minister of the country. So that is who has to deal with the improper offer. If a person in public life is offered an undue advantage, he or she should take the following steps to protect himself or herself. Refuse the undue advantage. There is no need to accept it as evidence. Try to identify the person who made the offer. Avoid lengthy contacts, but knowing the reason for the offer could be useful in evidence. If the gift cannot be refused or returned to the sender, it should be preserved but handled as little as possible. Obtain witnesses if possible, such as colleagues working nearby. Prepare as soon as possible a written record of the attempt, preferably in an official notebook. Report the attempt as soon as possible to the Commission. Continue to work normally, particularly on the matter in relation to which the undue advantage was offered. Susceptibility to influence by others. Part 6, a person in public life should not allow himself or herself to be put in a position of obligation to return a favor to any person or body, nor should his or her conduct in his or her official capacity, in other words, as Prime Minister of Grenada, or in his or her public life, make him or her susceptible to the improper influence of others. The law is clear. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hey, Sheldon.
Yes, sir.
We've seen a new thing in Grenada. Sheldon, if
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
if under the NNP this thing had happened, we'd have seen all the civil society, civil society, you have seen such as the Bar Association, and everybody could have quoted the law. We'd have seen the union quoting the law. We'd have seen a move to maim that former Prime Minister as being so corrupt. But no, we have made a man a god. They actually call him their baby Jesus. So whatsoever he do, he could walk on the law and spit on the law. And look at these people. In the name of hypocrisy, they sit down there. And nobody says nothing. The same people who was calling for morality, who was calling for justice and fairness, and calling for decency in public life, and calling for that high standard. Today, we see they're all dumb. I said this before. The Prime Minister we have here is a servant of corporate imperialism and a servant of extreme capitalism. And that's why he will sell a national asset without even looking twice or thinking twice. That's the kind of guy we have here. That type of leadership, Sheldon, is very dangerous for a small country as Grenada. And the word beggy and mouth on the ground fits so nice now. Who look beggy? Who look like mouth on the ground? Who look like somebody they could buy? Sheldon, this is a dangerous practice that our Prime Minister has put himself in. And I think the commission that deals with integrity in public life, somebody or that commission should call on him. He need to do something about it. He need to change that direction he going. And the Grenadian people must understand we must never accept things like that from leaders like that, because you accept an inch and they're going to take a yard. Next thing, our country could end up as one of the most corrupt countries in the world because of these type of behavior. So, Sheldon, we are asking that the Grenadian people to continue to look at what this government is doing. And we're asking you through your program to continue to expose them. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, thank you so very much, caller. And folks, I know the volume is kind of low, but when I push it a little higher, you're hearing what happens with the calls when I try to go up a little bit with the volume. All right, 440-7377, 347-329-310. Yeah, you have your say. Yeah, you have your say. I show you the law. I've shown you the law in relation to this particular issue. Yeah? And we heard the statement of the Prime Minister. We heard what the Prime Minister had to say in relation to this. Yeah? Yeah, he went around the bush, he went here, he went there.
Challenges may pose for further onward travel. I had intended to travel from Rwanda to Nigeria and then from Nigeria back to Grenada. As a result of the change in the travel plans, I would have stayed in the United Kingdom much longer, an extra day, and thereafter I would have traveled to Nigeria, and then from Nigeria I would have traveled back to Grenada. As far as I'm aware, I traveled, you asked whether I traveled commercial. I should just point this out so that we appreciate it, because I guess you want to know who took me to Nigeria. I flew to Nigeria from the United Kingdom, compliments Mr. Aliko Dangote.
Not the government of Nigeria. Not the government of Nigeria. Yeah? Ole here who fly him, eh? Right, nice.
Compliments Mr. Aliko Dangote, because obviously with the change in travel plans, I would not have been able to travel from Rwanda to Nigeria.
Oh yes, so you would not be able to go from day to day. All right, let me hear you again.
I flew to Nigeria from the United Kingdom, compliments Mr. Aliko Dangote, because obviously with the change in travel plans, I would not have been able to travel from Rwanda to Nigeria.
And just let the Grenadian people know that, one, it was not the Prime Minister alone. Of course, he's the Prime Minister of Grenada. He has to travel with his security detail. Whether it's one officer or two officers, he has to travel with them for security purposes. Secondly, this Prime Minister travels with, now we know he have a chief of staff. Today, the 16th day of October is when we find out the Prime Minister have a chief of staff. I don't know what you need a chief of staff for, because I know Dr. Mitchell been there for years and all he had, a press secretary, a security advisor. But this Prime Minister, press secretary, security advisor, cameraman, executive secretary, chief of staff, all this kind of thing. All of this big convoluted set of people walking behind him when he go in place. And still, he brought family members as well with him on this trip. So there was a benefit to the Prime Minister and relatives of the Prime Minister by what Mr. Dangote did. You all have seen for yourself. Sheldon, just tell all you, I've shown you all the Integrity in Public Life Act. And it is very clear that the Prime Minister is in breach of the Integrity in Public Life Act. He's in breach of it. But again, Or are we going to just stay quiet? Sheldon go talk about it today. You might hear other people talk about it tomorrow and other days. And by the time the end of October, he's sitting there believing that none of ain't going and talk about that again and forget about me and that and do the same thing or worse. The same way he shut down all the activities in February and everybody jump up, no, that wickedness, I could do that, blah, blah, blah. And then people abided by it. And now they come and they get hit with it again. So you have people like Waggy that losing thousands of dollars. Thousands, not 10,000. And Waggy's a fella people house burn, Waggy does help them. All kind of things going on. Waggy T don't even, and that's one of the things that does have with some people. You know. People like Waggy T who does help people. People like Judah and Waggy and these guys who does help people. They don't go out and talk, you know. Quietly. You know much house these fellas and them build for people. They house burn and thing and they help elderly people and they do all different things quietly. They ain't putting out nothing and say, well, I do this and I do that. Quietly they went. And a lot of you listening know it's true. Because you all have seen them in action. They help a lot of people. So they don't just do these things and it's that thing, oh, I'm making our money and shove in my pocket. When they do these activities, it goes back into the communities and they go and they help people. But we ain't having that conversation, are we? But everybody must just abide. They're doing these things and we just take it and we say, okay, oh, there's a law in relation to it. Okay, yeah, all right. And you just leave it at that. You can't do that. We have to speak up and out about these things. The Prime Minister has to understand he's not the king of Grenada. We have a caller online. He cannot rule by decree. We have a caller online.
Good evening, bro.
Good evening.
The thing I'm looking at now is that the Prime Minister is saying that with that smokish smile on his face, like he's proud of what he done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it.
All right, my brother. Yeah. No, of course he's smirking in relation to that because as far as he's concerned, Grenadians ain't go bother with that. Grenadians go just say, well, yeah, okay, so the Prime Minister stop it for the, we ain't going nowhere, all we go stay home and we go abide by it. And then when it have a time that you or your organization or whatever trying to do something and it happens to you, that is when you go want everybody make noise for you. No, I'm making noise from now. It is wrong. The Prime Minister of this country cannot rule by decree. He's not the King Deacon. He's not Emperor Deacon. He's Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. And that does not give him the overarching powers to just change our constitutional rights at a whim. And if the companies, the organizations, the individuals who are directly affected by this do not put a stop to it now, do not file a legal challenge in relation to this by tomorrow 12 o'clock. If you all do not file a legal challenge in relation to this, this is going to escalate and get worse. Because when he decide you can't have no music for Christmas, he just tell the commissioner they can't do nothing before Christmas and that's the end of it. When he decide for Easter, he want everybody to go to church on Easter Sunday, everybody have to go to church or stay home. You can't have no other activity. You can't have no boat ride. You can't have no cook. You can't go up on Bathway and Lime. Prime Minister say no. So stay in your hole. Who's the Prime Minister to tell you that? The only time that the Constitution of Grenada and the laws of Grenada gives a Prime Minister the ability to make any such decision is during a state of emergency. Let me repeat. The only time that any Prime Minister in the state of Grenada can make such a decision is during a state of emergency. During a state of emergency where the lives of people may be endangered and so on, during that period in time, that is when you can make a decision and say, well, you can't do this or you can't do that and you can't do the other because it might affect people's life and so on. How is this affecting people's life? How is Waggy T having an activity on Saturday? I doesn't even go, you know. So don't feel like talking because I'm looking to go and I doesn't even go sometime. Out of the blue moon, I might attend a football match or something and go. I'm not one of the people that does be there all the time. But if I decide I want to go, I must have that right. We are not in a state of emergency in Grenada. You cannot simply impose something that removes my constitutional rights outside of a state of emergency. And even within a state of emergency, you still have to baby my constitutional rights, you know. While you may be able to suspend certain aspects of it, there has to be a situation that is so serious, as in during COVID, when we didn't know what really going on with this virus and thing. Everybody afraid that if they catch it, they're going to die. So he wasn't sure. So he had to put measures in place during the COVID to protect people. What is the Prime Minister protecting except his own political image by what he's doing on Saturday? What is he protecting? The only thing they're trying to do, the same way they're telling the farmers and them, no, all of them have to go and shake minister hand to collect check. Are they going and I'm telling them straight, I don't shaking nobody hand for my check. It's either all they giving me or they don't giving me. And if all they not giving me, speak to my lawyer. What you have to give me is mine. My name on it is mine. Give me. If you don't give me, you better have a very good reason why you don't give me. But I ain't shaking no minister hand and take no picture. That is if it's me. Folks, 4407-377, 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get on the inside. Somebody tell me this one.
Skinny. On the other day, everybody singing one song. What is singing? The election coming there, you know who they're voting for. You have a kind of chorus they were singing. Let me hear. If NDC win again, we cry it. If NDC win again, we ball it. If NDC win again, we cry it. If NDC win again, we ball it. I know.
Me partner Tilly meet me, I tell you he vex like hell. He says Spider Grenadian go vote back Dr. Mitchell. I said Tilly 5 years now you there, you don't have to vex. And Grenadian people are stupid, they know where to put the X and they singing no cookie eye. No cookie eye.
Who you voting? Tell me, who you voting?
What squad? No cookie eye. No cookie eye.
And folks, we have a call online. Hello, good night.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank
you. Yes,
I'm calling from the United States.
Yeah, go right ahead.
And I am very concerned about something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but our Prime Minister is an attorney by trade, correct?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So I am a little concerned that an attorney is attempting to circumvent the law right out in the open and no one is doing anything about it. Do we have an oversight committee that handles things like corruption and fraud and all of that stuff in Grenada, even though we're such a small nation?
Now, what is happening there is that we have the Integrity Commission. Anyone, including myself, and maybe I might have to be the sacrificial lamb to do it, can make a complaint to the Integrity Commission about what has just taken place and the Prime Minister has admitted to. You can do it. Any one of us can do it. And I think what has to take place here is that a proper application to the Integrity Commission has to be drafted, and this has to be taken up. We can't just leave these things happening like that. We can't.
I agree.
If we continue to leave it, it's going to fester. It's going to get worse. Twice in 1 year, we're seeing these type of behaviors and various other. The Prime Minister remains. He has a CBI company. Yet the Prime Minister is the one signing off on CBI citizenship. The Minister of Finance signs off on people in CBI's projects, giving them concessions. And he has a CBI company.
Yeah, that's a problem, because here's what I know. Corruption is like an invasive species. If you do not curb it, it spreads, and it spreads like wildfire. Grenada is too small to be dealing with these kinds of problems.
Yeah, it's totally out of order, ma'am.
Yeah, this is a problem. And the Grenadian people, preferably the ones who are at home, need to stand up and do something, because this cannot continue. We are too small. And I know I listen to talking points every day that I can, and I know that at least once in a while the Prime Minister is on this thing as well. Mr. Prime Minister, if you are here tonight, please let us start doing things in the best interest of the Grenadian people, of the children coming behind you who will take your position one day. Those people who will later in the future guide our nation? What type of example and legacy are you leaving for them? This is an issue. Knock it off. For God's sake, knock it off. We are too small for this. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, indeed, caller, and that is the thing. If we continue to accept this, let me give you all an example here. Let me see if I can bring it up here. The Constitution of Grenada. In fact, let me bring it up bigger than that so you all can see properly what I'm speaking to. Section 9 of the Constitution of Grenada, we're speaking about the fundamental rights and so on of people. It says here, except, let me highlight it here, except with his own consent, no person shall be hindered in the enjoyment of his freedom of conscience, including freedom of thought and of religion. So my freedom of thought is that me ain't going in all the thing that all you're having on Saturday. If I go in anywhere, I'm going to find myself at Fort George at 12 noon, where the Grenada Martyrs Foundation for the last 40 years have been having their activity, whether Ivan pass, COVID pass, whatever. The Grenada Martyrs Foundation for the last 40 years have been having an activity on October 19th to remember the fallen. So I have freedom of thought. My thought can be, I'm not going in the Prime Minister and them thing, I go in and support the Martyrs Foundation. And the Constitution under Section 9 guarantees my right for freedom of thought, freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom, either alone or in a community and others, and both in public and private, to manifest and propagate his religion. So that is freedom of religion, but also freedom of thought. Section 10, except with his own consent, no person shall be hindered in the enjoyment of his freedom of expression. And if my freedom of expression means that how I want to express myself on Saturday is to go in Wagiti thing and listen to, what the guy name again, Mali something or the other, Mali Don or whatever his name is, that is my freedom. You can't hinder my freedom. This is the Constitution of Grenada. So except with his own consent, no person shall be hindered in the enjoyment of his freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions without interference. Mr. Prime Minister, if my belief is I'm not holding Saturday as a holy day, if my freedom to have that opinion, you can't decide as Prime Minister that you're going to change that and I can't have that opinion. We have a caller online. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night. Hi, good night. Yes, ma'am. You have to speak up a bit from here because I'm having a slight problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, some picture on Facebook going around concerning the hospital, right? And they were saying that the hospital is not signed or sanitarized by Mount San High, whatever. You know, today the Prime Minister speak about that.
Yes, I'm aware.
Spoke about that.
Mm-hmm.
And when the question was asked about it, he said, "Ain't now water is a sanitarized body, and everybody's paying water. So what happened to the hospital? Is it I can't Mr. P. I don't feel this man have his right head. Something is wrong with this man. Grenadians, you all eyes have to be opened up. It's time for us to take a stand and against this government, against this Prime Minister, because he's just doing things way out of order. He's not in line with us. I find something wrong with this man. He needs to come down back to our level. And our next question, Mr. Scott, I don't see the Prime Minister is respectable of the Grenadian, the taxpayers' money. Are the taxpayers concerned of where the Prime Minister is staying and how much we are paying? We have a new landlord. The Prime Minister have a new resident. How much are we still paying for the resident where he was staying in Mount Royal? Are we still paying for that place? Who is staying there? We need to start asking the Prime Minister's question because he's not answering, he's not paying us no mind. Grenadians, open up your eyes, please. Taxpayers, we need to know what's going on with our money. where our money is spending, who is spending our money, and where our money is going, and whose pocket is going to. Have a blessed night, Sheldon.
All right, thank you so very much, caller. Yeah, folks, and I'm telling you, look at Section 10. Look at Section 10 of our Constitution. No person shall be hindered in the enjoyment of his freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions without interference. You can't tell me that after reverence on October 19th, you're out of order, you're fast, and you're out of place. You're disrespectful. Freedom to receive ideas and information without interference. Freedom to communicate ideas and information without interference. But apparently, we in North Korea. Let me stop say that. Next thing, them North Korea and hack me. But apparently, like we in North Korea. We have a caller online. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night. Hello. Hello. Oh boy, yeah, I'm not getting through. Hello, good night. Why am I not getting through? Hello, good night. Okay, I don't think that person is paying attention to the phone line. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. The Constitution of Grenada is clear. The Integrity in Public Life Act is clear. I could pull up the Anti-Corruption Act. It is clear. What the Prime Minister is doing is wrong. It is wrong, it is wrong, it is wrong. We have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Good night, Brother Sheldon. Good night.
Hey, good night. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay,
all right.
go right ahead.
Yeah, listen. The last caller, the caller before the last one, to the fact that a prime minister had been a lawyer, all right? But I want to really ask the question, really and truly, if our prime minister is aware of those laws, and if he's aware, I'm wondering if he really knows that he is responsible to the state of Grenada with reference or when coming to his integrity and his legal status and direction as to be guided by the Constitution of Grenada. Right? Now, also wondering here whether they usually have discussions in the cabinet, at the cabinet level, in terms of guidance, talking with each other. And I know for sure that the New National Party had been involved and is still involved in discussion. Sometimes it's robust discussion and even argument on issues like that. Now, can you remember that there was an alleged, you correct me if it's alleged or it's factual, that some of our ministers had received golden spades, right?
I heard the allegation, but I actually never followed up on that one, and I should, yeah?
Right. So that's the reason why I say it's alleged, because that being around like wildfire, and so it is a practice. To me, if that has happened, it seemed to be a practice. And not only that, to just go back to the Nigerian situation. How did the what is the name of the man? Alibas?
No, Dangote.
Dangote. How did he know the Prime Minister himself been involved in a dialogue or a conversation or monitoring the schedule and all of that? So you'd have known that because of the outbreak of that disease, that he can invite him to Nigeria, And besides that, had he taken into consideration the law of the integrity, the law of the integrity in public life? That's another question. And there is a saying, there is the ignorance of the law, there is no excuse, right? Because these are some of the issues that the reason, the corruption allegation that they had made on Dr. Mitchell sometimes in the past, right? And they said he being corrupted, corrupt, and nothing was found on him with that was concerned, and so forth. But here is it: our Prime Minister did confess openly, Well, he's not seen that as a confession. Sorry, he remade his remark openly, right, and publicly about his dealings with Gangoche, right? So I thinking that a prime minister have to be guided properly, and he ought to listen. He ought to take track of every step and everything that he does, because he is responsible to us, right? I'm a part of this. We are a part of this whole thing, If anything happens, we all would plunge in it. Yes. The final thing before hanging up, with reference to the Morris Bishop, this award ceremony and award of heroes and all of that. I want Grenadian people to know that of all presidents, prime ministers, and all of that, you cannot trust Morris Bishop. He's two-tongued, right? He's two-tongued. So if that is, and there are many guys, and I always say that, there are many persons behind Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell who knows that. And that's why they had approved his death. That's the reason why, because they call him a vacillator, They said that he took back on a decision that he made to not to go the communist way or the bourgeoisie way and so on, and that's why they had executed him and his cabinet. So why should we pattern our lifestyle or a matter of fact, we anybody free to do that according to the Constitution, free to assemble, free, and so forth, to partake whenever they want, whoever they want. But I'm really glad that you took this up tonight. Continue, brother.
All right. Thank you very much, Pastor.
You take care, sir.
Yes, indeed. And folks, one caller asked about something a while ago, and let's hear the Minister of Health on that one. Yeah, let's hear him.
So much things that we've been hearing. The claims of the hospital privatization. Is there any truth to that?
Well, Junior, I tell you the truth. Sometimes I find it so funny that, and I ask myself, where these things come from? Do we have a factory that manufactures these falsehoods? Where these things come from? How does someone come up with these kind of things? Where it came from? But in any event, no, we have. They said that, I read it, that there was some meeting. Who conducted this meeting? Where did it come from? That is absolutely false. There is no selling of any of our government-owned health facilities. No hospital, no healthcare center, no nothing. That ain't happening. That's not our policy. That's not our aim. That's not our desire.
Okay, so right, that is not your policy. That is not your aim. No privatization. All right. So what about statutorization? Yeah, what about statutorization? Which is, you're taking it out from under government, and there are consequences according to the Constitution for that. So let's hear what the Prime Minister had to say today. That is after you hear the Minister speak. Let's hear what the Prime Minister said today.
And then the second issue, the government is, let me rephrase, you said health sector. So the government is considering whether it would be prudent to statutorize the hospital, not the health sector.
Whether to know, the Minister just said we ain't privatizing. So we statutorizing, which is basically you're still taking it away from government. You are creating it into a statutory body, whereas they could set their own price, make their own rules, that sort of thing, and government just has shares, isn't it? So you're looking to make it into a statutory body. You have a board of directors and them kind of thing. All right, okay. We're just making sure that we clarify.
Let me rephrase. You said health sector. So the government is considering whether it would be prudent to statutorize the hospital, not the health sector. because obviously the health sector is far wider and more
So the talk we've been hearing from Mr. Grimes for the last year or so about the reason that you all are not confirming nurses is because you all are seeking to statutarize the hospital or privatize. Is sure? All right, okay, let me hear your rest.
Worse than that. This is something that, in fact, in my case, was actually suggested by young doctors and other healthcare practitioners when we consulted and met with them, when I met with them sometime last year.
Mr. Prime Minister, apparently the minister know that. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night. Oops, wrong one.
Good night. Good night.
Hey, good night, brother. How you doing?
Hi there. Listen, I know, boy. You pep up, and anybody who believe in the country will be pep up. You think that could have gone in Jamaica there? You think that could go on in Canada here with Justin Trudeau? He have to resign. And the Grenadian people is just letting things go. When will it end? He have to resign. And Sheldon, let me give you a bit of information. The Prime Minister knew where he was going before. You understand? We get it here 3 days before the Prime Minister knew he was going to Nigeria. I don't know who paid for his trip, but he knew. He knew all the problem, what was going outside there. You know? Only the Grenadian people he could fool. But I know he can fool you and others. But the opposition leader had to take up that matter and take it up very seriously. I think that should be Dickon's downfall. Dickon is a cooperative lawyer. He is not involved in politics. He is involved in big money. That's all he involved in. How to make a quick buck. And Grenada should know that. Grenadians should know that he's a cooperative lawyer. You understand? He never on the side of government. Dick never fought one case for government. Just go back and look at the record, Sheldon. So what's happening now? If we don't stop it, it's going to get worse. And the other thing about the ministers and things, you want ministers to hand out check. Sheldon, we have a new system now. And even the commercial says we have banks bringing your stuff, your money go direct to the bank. You understand? Those the money that goes to the bank, go to the treasury and collect your check. Come to the treasury and collect your check. When ministers, everything ministers making it like a holiday. You understand? You see that going around the world? You see this thing going around the world? That's it. You understand? The people have to give something back to the people. All you run around, all you come in there, who in government and who not in government, still there. Sheldon, we have to do better than that. And I'm glad you're taking a stand. I'm glad you're taking a stand. And I'm just waiting to hear Sister Jenny tomorrow. You have a good one.
Thank you very much, my brother. 044073773473293101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside. So, maybe the Minister of Health maybe he wasn't listening in cabinet. He may fall asleep or something.
Obviously, the health sector is far wider and more diverse than that. This is something that, in fact, in my case, was actually suggested by young doctors and other healthcare practitioners when we consulted and met with them.
And we have a call online. Hello, good night. Hello? Okay, it seems as though we lost that caller. 440-737-734-73293-101. Yeah, let me continue here. Them there, yeah.
Reasons for that recommendation. They've also cited other countries in the region in which it has done and it has helped improve the level and delivery of services. And a part of it has to do with the fact that the public service is a one-shoes-fit-all type approach.
Now, let me explain something to you all, because let's get it clear. We don't want them to think that we are obfuscating the issue. Privatization is privatization, right? Privatization means that you have basically sold the whole thing over to a company, or individual, a group of individuals, whatever. You have sold it over to them totally. Government has no ownership, nothing to do with it. Private company own it, privatized, yeah? Or different groups of people come together and they purchase it. The Prime Minister says that they're looking at statutorization, which means that government will maintain a certain number of shares. So you're going to have shares in the hospital. So the Grenadian people may have shares. You may end up with the majority, may end up with the minority, but you will have shares. Meanwhile, you will have other people. It might be a university, might be any organization that decides that, hey, we are going to buy the rest of shares and so on. We are going to have the controlling interest in this entity. Remember like how Grenlec was before and now Grenlec fully back? Right. And they spoke about Nawasa and thing, right. So that they can set their rates and so on. They are the board of directors. They can set their rates and so on. And it is not, again, directly owned as in owned by the government of Grenada, but that other people have a say in what is taking place there, either for the good or the bad. They ain't looking for votes. They're looking for money. So they can, and what's the matter with my computer here? All of a sudden it decides it wants to play. No, not tonight proper. Not tonight. No, you behave yourself. Right. Yeah. So that is what the statutorization is. It is a little different from privatization. But again, it takes direct control away from the government of Grenada. And let me tell you this. And this is the point that the trade unions have been making. If the hospital is statutorized, it means that every single nurse inside there, according to the Constitution of Grenada, has to be immediately pensioned. Every person that is working in the hospital, whether they're there for 5 years, 5 months, 10 years, whatever, once they are in a confirmed position, those individuals have to be considered, no matter what age they are, as on pension. So they have to start receiving their pension immediately, because you have taken them out from the public service. You have removed these individuals from the public service. So in order to avoid having to do that for all the nurses, is the reason that the Public Workers Union has been saying that this government continues to contract the nurses in the hospital, contract the doctors and so on, because they know if these people are fully into the public service and then you statutorize or privatize the general hospital, all of these people immediately gain a pension. They could be 20-something years old and they're starting to get a pension. They ain't have to work another day in their life if they decide, because you have to give them the full pension and gratuity. That is the law. That is the law in Grenada. If you abolish, for instance, there were people who were working with the post office over the years and different things, and when that became a statutory body, you had a situation with some of them. And you have that situation now with the hospital. Now the Prime Minister is saying that they're thinking about statutorizing the hospital. But if they statutorize that hospital, it means that me and you, the Grenadian taxpayer, according to the 1958 pension, we have to pay for the rest of their life pension to some of these nurses and doctors, etc., the people who are working in different departments there and they're fully in the public service. We have to pay these people pension. From the age of 20-something, 30-something, whether they're in the 40-something, we have to start paying them pension for the rest of their life. So there are consequences to statutorization. When you do it, any of the people who are fully within the public service there have to be treated a specific way according to the Constitution. You can't just say you statutorize and they transfer and they're now working for the statutory body. Contract workers, you might get away with that, but you still have to make a payment to them. And they have to decide that they want to work with the statutory body. So you're still ending up in a situation that you have a lot of money that you're going to have to pay out. And that is why the trade unions have been saying that this government is shirking on its responsibility. Remember, we're not supposed to be talking about nurses getting contract talking about 40,000 and 30,000. Within 12 months of taking office, all of these people were supposed to have been made permanent, isn't it? So said the Prime Minister. Within 12 months, We're not supposed to be talking about Imani and new pension plan and new pension plan for this one and that one and how we can't take them on. The promise on the campaign trail was within 12 months of taking office, we are confirming we putting all these people in the public service. But then some people ain't arguing that. That's why the Prime Minister reached out to calling letter from the Public Workers Union hogwash and attacking the Public Workers Union. And folks, I don't know what is going on at my computer here. It has just decided, I think he finally decided giving up on me tonight. Yeah, the normal one that I just use. I think he finally decided tonight
Public
to give
Workers
up.
Union went to the lawyers who wrote the government. We've since responded to that letter. And even in that letter, although what was contained in the letter was hogwash, we have still,
Where's it about the letter?
Was hogwash, although what was contained in the letter was hogwash, although what was contained in the letter was hogwash, we have still...
So in other words, you're just disrespecting the Public Workers Union, the members, the lawyers, everything. Because as far as you're concerned, what they was talking about, they was hogwash. Folks, we're nearly out of time. Just to give you all some reminders before I leave tonight, because the next time you'll be seeing me on is Monday. Yeah, but just before we leave tomorrow, remember all roads lead tomorrow out to that meeting in Bonaire. Yes, St. Mark, that is taking place at 6:30 p.m. at the Bonaire Government School. So that's 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. And of course, Dr. Mitchell, Honorable Emlyn P., Honorable Dr. Clarice Modest, and Mr. Alvin Dabrio, they will be there. All right, Oil Dong and Old Talk, that's taking place this Saturday. Yeah, at 535 East 19th Street between Newkirk and Ditmas. $30. Link up the thing now, man. Only go and link up the thing. That's the NNP New York chapter. Oil Down and Old Talk from midday until. All right, so that's at 535 East 19th between Ditmas and Newkirk. Yeah, nice. Between Newkirk and Ditmas. Right, the bingo, that's coming up on the 27th. So we look forward to that one. You know, Sir Daniel, yeah, we go talk about Sir Daniel tomorrow. Carriacou Community Day, that is taking place this Saturday as well. From 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. Tropics behind John's Unique Resort. So various activities, games, food, hampers, school supplies, etc. And you get the opportunity to interact with the political leadership of the new National Party. And remember the town hall meeting, it's coming up on the 27th of October. And that's going to be at Elton Palace, 1130 Linwood Street, Brooklyn, New York. Main speakers, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Honorable Peter David, Honorable Emlyn P.S. Senator, the Honorable Norland Cox, Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters, and Senator the Honorable Dwight Hosford. And that's going to be starting from 5 p.m. October the 27th out there at Elton Palace, 1130 Linwood Street, Brooklyn, New York. All right. And the Carriacou and Petit Martinique support group out there, New York support group of the new National Party. They have the grand fundraising brunch coming up on Saturday the 16th of November. We'll be giving you some more information in relation to that as the time draws closer. Folks, that is all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. I'm over my time. But in whatever you say, whatever you do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you. See you all at the meeting in Bonaire tomorrow. And then you might see me in Carriacou. You know me already. It's Carriacou people, you know. Yeah. I Carriacou people, so next thing you might see me in Carriacou. Love each and every one of you.
In order to maintain power, came, but be not afraid, for will come suddenly. My sin, just as the longest road comes to a bend, so do the evil works of evil